Alphas talk, betas walk.
Welcome aboard Easter Sunday edition. Alphas talk, betas walk. I am your host, Dun Diesel, welcoming in the Alpha Army and my co-host, Richard the King, Mr. Hardwood, J Corp the Prowler. What is going on, boys?
It's been a fucking great, phenomenal weekend. Pistons clinched the number one seed in the NBA, and we're going to the fucking natty title tomorrow night, baby. Like I said all season, Michigan all the way. Let's go.
Go blue, baby. Go blue for sure. Corporal, how's it hanging?
It's going good. Happy Easter, everybody. Doing well. Enjoying the stretch run of college basketball. It's been fun to see our boys in blue dominate again. It's a good time of the year. It's fun, and I'm excited to get into it.
What a weekend, right? I mean, like Rick said, Michigan playing for all the marbles tomorrow. Pistons locking down the number one seed. Red Wings stink. Good holiday with the family. Easter is always great. But yeah, we got a lot for you guys. We got a jam-packed show. Super excited. We might as well jump right in, boys.
News of the week.
The Gens on Sports around the league. Biggest news of the week. I am going to kick us off. My topic is this. PUKA Nacua has entered rehab. Any concerns this carries over into the season and affects his on-the-field production?
So I'll jump in first here. The way I look at it is, I mean, he's still young. He's been there for a while. So I think it was this. They said right after the new year, right? It was right after New Year's, and I don't think it's going to be. Just seems like he's young. He's having fun. Maybe he's being taking it a little too far. It's going to his head. But I think once the season, once it ramps up the season, I think he's going to be good to go.
This is definitely
What do you think,
this
Corp?
is definitely something that he's got an issue with. Now he's seeking help, so anytime you're doing that, you're doing the right thing. He's getting out ahead of this. It looks good from a legal department. But it started with that Twitch live stream where he was being racist, and then he bit somebody. And if you haven't seen the pictures, it is a bite. That is like a bite mark. That is something.
Yeah, and it was wasn't it his date?
Something like that. I thought it was sexual to start, but it doesn't
You know,
sound like it.
it was his date. It wasn't like a sexual act. Like he did it, like just like out in public type deal.
Yeah,
To my understanding.
yeah, and so he's probably feeling himself, and if it's just a drinking thing, it usually can get into check. Where I would say on the field is it's clear and obvious that he bit her, and if she's pressing charges, I don't know how the NFL is going to affect that with like a suspension type thing. Seems like low on the priority to do. I think they like the Rams, and so I don't think that a suspension is imminent, but could happen. But where I do see it could be an issue is if this guy's like a drinker and he's going through withdrawals in a way that like he's used to playing drunk or he's used to playing with a buzz and we don't know about those things, that's where it could have an effect. His play might change based on him not being who he's been for the last couple of years, a more like mentality type thing. He plays with, a fun way to watch. He's tough to tackle. He makes great plays. But if he's out there in a certain headspace that he's no longer going to be with, it can be concerned. Now, I wouldn't do anything drastic from a dynasty or a fantasy perspective, but typically guys that have off-season issues don't have their career year going into that next season.
Yeah, so my thoughts are this, man. Like the behavior has been wild, right? Like it's definitely been wild. We all like to drink at one point in time in our life. You guys not so much anymore. But I don't in all of like my wildness on the drinking, like this dude has done some like pretty wild stuff for an adult to be out there doing, to almost to the point where it starts to make you question, like, is there any like CTE type traumatic brain injury from some of the hits that he has taken, factoring into the substance abuse stuff, right? So when Antonio Brown first started acting crazy, like people didn't think that it would eventually be something that would affect him on the field. I'm not saying PUKA is there yet, but I definitely do have some concerns because of how just outlandish and how wild the dude's been this off season, that it may be something beyond just just the booze. You know what I mean? So obviously the NFL's physical game. You hope there's nothing there, but the fact that he is a wide receiver, the fact that it is the diva position in terms of the league and all that. And we've seen this story before, right? We've seen this story before with the best receiver in football, Antonio Brown. Obviously, that a lot of people think his was more directly caused from that Vontaze Burfict, just absolute smoke missile that was laid on him. But yeah, that's where my initial thought went in with PUKA. So, any concern, CT, like that it's beyond just the dude getting drunk and being wild?
That's definitely an angle I wasn't thinking of, but it makes sense. And I don't know about his career prior to this, but if you go back and look at Aaron Hernandez, it started at a much younger age, and it could have easily happened. And when you're younger, you play through injuries, you play through concussions, you want playing time, you don't want to miss a snap. And so you play hurt a lot more. In college, they start to look at that a little bit deeper, but depending on what school you're at, they're going to look the other way just as much. They want you on the field. They want you to win. And so it's big business, and it's one of those things that it's definitely a possibility. And with every big shot he takes, his head's hit off the ground how many times just this last season. So it's definitely something that's...
Yeah, I mean, and the dude plays physical. He's not a finesse wide receiver. Like, he plays physical. And like I said, I hope it's not nothing to do with that, and it is just the dude's just been drinking too much. That seems like it would be best case in terms of him being in rehab and being able to kick that. But yeah, that was one of the things that crossed my mind. Now, I think obviously if we see it beyond, so if he comes out of rehab and this is like a reoccurring thing, or he continues to do the wild things and putting himself in trouble with the league, or just with the Rams behavioral wise, then I think that could definitely be major concerns. But the thing about PUKA, and the thing he really needs to get it together, I mean, I think talent wise he's the best receiver in the league, but he has not got that big contract yet. I believe he's still playing on his rookie deal. So you want someone to give you...
He has a couple years left, I think.
You want someone to give you that... I think he's under contract this year and then supposed to get paid next year, I believe. But if he wants JSN type money or more, when you start talking $40 million plus a year for a wide receiver, they don't want that guy to have off the field character concerns. And by all accounts, he's great in the locker room, et cetera, et cetera. But just something to watch moving forward. My concern level isn't super high right now, but there definitely is some concern, especially on the redraft end. Obviously, dynasty wise, he would be a hold right now, but looking forward on the redraft end, if the erratic behavior continues, then he probably has to slide down.
Yeah.
Down the draft.
Yeah, and what the Rams do could be even more telling. Like right now, McVay's saying all the right things. Like he just needs to put his arm around him, and he wishes for his best. But if they don't give him a contract and they end up in like the CeeDee Lamb situation where you're going to end up paying like more money every year that you don't pay him, like the Rams are a smart organization, or they trade him. Like those types of things, I'm out, because what you're going to see is something's going to change when Stafford leaves, whether it's a whole rebuild type moment, or they send out the receivers, because typically you don't start with the receivers as the building blocks for your teams. Teams that do that don't typically get good fast. So what the Rams do will make a difference in how I perceive this situation.
Yeah, and I just double checked. I was right. This is his last year under contract. There's been zero dialogue around an extension that I have heard. And that's super telling too, right? Like CD Lamb was in the same situation and he got paid going into that final year of his rookie contract. We haven't heard any rumblings out of that from the Rams regarding Nakua, which is pretty telling in itself. The other thing to potentially raise the concern meter is the Rams were trying to make a trade for AJ Brown. And that struck me as very interesting, right? When you know that you're going to have to potentially pay PUKA 160 plus million, that you would go out and trade for a wide receiver as expensive as under so many years contract wise as AJ Brown. That could be telling there too. You know what I mean? So I know people looked
Yeah,
at that
definitely.
more. I know people looked at that more in terms of like a Devontae Adams type long term replacement, but just another angle to potentially look at this from. But the contract thing and the AJ Brown thing lets you know that there is some level of legitimate concern from the Rams on this for sure. All right, Court, keeping us on topic. What do you got for us this week?
Yeah, staying in LA. So it has been Kyle Shanahan came out and said that he knows for a fact that McVay and the Rams have lobbied to have their home game against the 49ers played in Australia. Is this a bitch move or is this a smart play? Now, I don't know if you need a little background just to tell you that the Rams at home have been 2 wins, 8 losses at home versus the 49ers. Like that's
Yeah. So I'll jump in first here. I've watched a few of these games that even into the playoffs. Whenever the Niners play at SoFi, it seems like it's a 49ers home game. So there is definitely some strategy here by McVay. It is not a bitch move. I think it's a smart play. But what I will say is the Rams fans are bitches. And if they showed up at the stadium and represented their team, he wouldn't be doing this type of shit. So Rams fans suck. LA is a shitty ass football town. The fact they got 2 teams is downright fucking embarrassing. Chargers should have never left San Diego. But McVay's playing the cards that he's dealt. So you can't blame him on this. It's a smart move on his end, but it's an overall bigger indictment that Rams fans are absolute trash.
Yeah, so I definitely think it's a smart move too, off things that you said, Sean. And yeah, then I've watched a bunch of these games over the years too, just from a betting perspective and everything. And yeah, the Niners have always had the Rams number, and their like you said, both said their fans never show up. I mean, even when the Rams were in the Super Bowl, that was pathetic on on how many of their fans showed up and everything. And I definitely think it's a smart move to go over there and maybe have an advantage with maybe more fans show up over there than they do at their own home stadium.
Nah, this is a bitch move by the NFL. To have a divisional game played overseas is a bitch move. They should be playing at their home facility. If the Lions had to play Green Bay and we didn't get to play them at home, we had to play them in London, we'd be up in arms. This is like a strategy because they can't get fans in their seats. And when they play the Steelers, there's more Steelers fans there. There's so many teams that are willing to travel, and the Rams can't even get people to come to their home games. You can say that, oh, there's so much to do. New York fans are in the seats when you go to New
Yeah.
York, and there's so much to do there. There are lots of other teams that have big cities that there's four teams there. There's other things going on.
Yeah. Don't give me the beach bullshit. Just like I hear that all the time. Like, oh, well, their fans would rather be at the beach. You hear that one all the time, like for college football, for like USC and UCLA games.
Yeah,
Like, oh, they'd rather be at the beach. Like, shut the fuck up. You're a terrible fan if you're going to miss the game for something that is not going nowhere. Newsflash, that ocean's going to be there later. It's going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah, and the Rams are
Right.
good now. Like, they're good. Like, show up and support the team. You have a team that cares, that's like actively trying to be better, even when they're good. They're spending money. They're doing things to be good as an organization, and the fans are like not holding them back, but they hurt when you got to go on a silent count in your own stadium. That's bad. And the fact that the Niners
Yeah.
are 8-2 against them on the road, like that's a huge advantage. And to have to do that in Australia, I think that there's going to be 49ers fans and Australian fans that are going to show up, and it's still going to be a home game for the 49ers. I think people are going to, turn on them for this type of move. But at the same time, I think the NFL is the bitch here, and they should have had a different team. A non-conference, a non-divisional game makes sense. And to do it in the division, I think it takes away from that rivalry. And if I'm going to a game for the Lions or a team I love, I want to play that division. I want to go see that division game because those are games that are fun to watch. So you're stealing, from the fans that should be there. And so the bitches are the LA Rams fans and the NFL for agreeing to do this.
Yeah, but you're a real fan, like our boy Mitch, who's a Rams fan. He's fair weather. They're not. They are just not real fans, man. That's just the bottom line. Rams fans are fair weather bitches. I will end this with a Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Young Richard, the topic of the week, the topic that is on all our minds. King Hardwood gets it. What do you got for us? Question of the week.
Michigan versus UConn in the Natty. First of all, who wins? With Yaxels' injury, how effective will he be? And who is the Final Four MOP, most outstanding player?
First and foremost, I want to go on record of just how wrong Corporal was not picking Michigan to, one, not make the Final Four, but to not get to where they are now. It feels, for the risk of being a jinx, but fuck it, I am going to risk being a jinx. It feels inevitable that Michigan will be cutting down the nets tomorrow night. Like, I do want to point out that me and the Hardwood King did call throughout the podcast and at the start of the tournament. I do not think Yaxel will be anywhere near 100%, but I do expect him to be moving better and more effective than he was in the second half against Arizona last night. I think at a minimum, he showed that even with limited mobility, he can still be a spread the floor, knock down three-pointer type player out there. The bigger concern would be on the defensive end. If that mobility is not improved, does he become a liability out there? But the dominance that Michigan showed against Arizona last night with Yaxel only playing 15 minutes, being limited by foul trouble, and then obviously the injury, Michigan is just head and shoulders above any other team in college basketball this year. I think the only team that could have even given them a game would have been Duke, and that is just a testament to how good Duke is defensively and the fact that they can just clamp down. And we saw that in DC earlier in the year where they just really gave us problems with their defense. But Michigan, ultimately, Michigan just has too much size for UConn. So Taurus Reed is UConn's big man. He's a former Michigan man. I liked him when he was here, but he's 6'9", 6'10", and that's UConn's biggest guy. I just don't see how he can hang with Mara or even Merez Johnson. I think Mara follows up Saturday's masterpiece with another just dominant performance. He's just too big for Reed. Dusty May's too good of a coach, and will get Mara the touches down in the post where he needs to be, whether that's a lob or the news that came out today that some of those erratic Elliot Cadeau shots were actually intentional, basically lobs off the backboard to get Mara the ball in better positioning, which is just an absolute masterclass by Dusty May. But Mara will win the Final Four most outstanding player. And The only question on my mind after tomorrow will be whether him and Merez Johnson are coming back next season or if they are on to the pros. But regardless, this is the start of a Michigan dynasty. Dusty May knocking off Dan Hurley tomorrow puts himself into that conversation for the best coach in all of college basketball currently. And Michigan is going to be a perennial title contender. This will be the first of many Final Fours and national championships in the Dusty May era at Michigan.
Love the take.
What do you think, Corp?
Yeah, I love Sean's take, but coming from a perspective where UConn, really outmuscled Illinois, and they played like a toughness where the length of Illinois was just deflated by the boxing out, the constant hitting. There was a physical play by UConn that worked against Illinois. Against Duke, they were down 19 at half, and one of the biggest upsets in tournament history as far as comebacks go. That was more, I think, on Duke just making bonehead plays, turning the ball over, and UConn being really disciplined. Going into the game against Illinois, there was at some point the combined was 39 possessions without a turnover. So they play really disciplined basketball that you would expect from a well-coached team. But Michigan's a different beast. The size that Michigan has, plus the ability to play physical with them, I think is just going to be too much. If they're dropping threes like they did against Arizona, there's nobody that can stop this team. Yaxel, I think he is awesome. He'll play on the injured ankle. I mean, even if he's just spotting up shooting threes, he's a shooter. He can do it all. Kid's lights out. I think Mara could have a big game with some blocks. I mean, he's 100 blocks this season, something like that, like a ridiculous first time stat for Michigan players. So he's crushing it. The team across the board. Cadeau's going to have to be smart with the ball. He got a little careless at the end of the game, but they were up big, so it didn't matter. And so it's one of those things that Michigan should win as a 6.5 point favorite going into the game. I expect that to kind of move towards the 7.5, 8 by tip off. I think that everybody's going to take Michigan. There's going to be your UConn guys out there, but I just don't think they have enough firepower to keep it close. And so if Michigan loses, it's more of a choke. My big fear, more than anything, is Michigan winning the national championship and Dusty May taking the UNC job. I saw a couple of his press conferences. I don't think that's where his head's at, but he's also.
You might have been busy today, but he came out and announced that he's not
he did. Okay.
in UNC.
I saw the press conference where he said he wasn't going to talk about it. He wasn't going to say one way or the other, and so that was the last thing I heard. That's good news. You got to uproot your whole family and you got to change, and to keep doing that when you're not just at any program, you're at Michigan. They're going to give you the funding you want. They're going to pay your bills. You're going to get a lot of good perks here. And so I was hoping that it wouldn't matter. And as long as we recruit like we did this year and pay the guys and get the team that we have, we're going to be a team to contend every year. What I will say is I think Michigan has played down to competition in the first half, and so I would like to see them come out like they did against Arizona and be the champion from the tip. And if they do that, they're going to have no problem winning this game.
Final Four MOP?
I'm going to go with Mara just to throw something else out there. I think Yaxel's probably somebody that a lot of people think, but with the ankle injury, it's tough to take him, although that would be a great story to win that, put up 25 points, have one of the higher averages in the tournament, and can see that being an angle, playing hurt. But I think Mara can just, if they can shut down Reed, and Mara has 3 or 4 blocks in the game and then puts up 15, 20 points because he's dominating offensively with those lobs and post moves, I think that he could definitely have a chance to win that. So I'll put my name on Mara.
The King.
So yeah, It's definitely gonna be Michigan. They're gonna. I'm taking the spread, them minus the 6.5. I think they win. I think they win by 10 plus. But and how effective Yaxel will be, like you mentioned, Sean. I think the only concerning part will be him if he turns into a liability on how bad the injury still is on defense. On offense, he's still going to be able to spot up. He's a shooter, and I think he'll be, just he's basically, I think, going to be. I mean, seeing him move didn't look good, and it's a MCL sprain, so it's I don't think it's going to get much better than it already is now, to be honest. So I think he's still going to be moving gingerly like he was, and I think he's going to be more of a decoy on offense. And I mean, Arizona was supposed to beat us with its bigs and its guard play, and Mara was and is the guy was a fucking cheat code last night. It just kept throwing it down low, and he was just playing. It was freaking belts to ass every time he got the ball. And like you mentioned, Sean, those shots that looked ridiculous by Cadeau were actually, Dusty May came out and said that they were actually for Mara to get the rebound. The most outstanding player, I think, is definitely going to be Mara. I mean, last night he had 26, 9 and 3. Cadeau turned it up, and he was close. I mean, he had 13, 10 and 5. Like I said, I just think it was great that we just beat their ass, and they were going to beat us with their guard play and their bigs, and none of that even came into play. It was just basically us daring them to shoot threes and how bad Arizona sucks at shooting 3-pointers, I think. And they got their guards and got Bradley in foul trouble early. I think he was, to finish the night, he was like 1 for 10, I think, from 3-pointers, or 2 for 10, maybe.
Him being in foul trouble was critical. You do bring up the one thing that does concern me about UConn is that they got some shooters. So Mullins, obviously the freshman, he's from Indiana. He can really shoot the basketball. Silas Demery Jr. is a shooter. The underrated thing that no one's talking about is UConn is dealing with a major injury too. So Solo Ball was in a walking boot today, and he's another one of their best shooters on the team, a good guard. So UConn definitely has more 3-point shooting than Arizona, and UConn has a coach that isn't going to look overmatched. So those are the potential concern areas, but it's a lot like when Michigan won the Natty in football a couple years ago, when you were just like, dude, Michigan's just the best team. Like, it's our year. They're the best team. I've said it from the start. I've said it all season. I just think they're the best team. But those would be, like, if you're looking for reasons for concern, it would be UConn's 3-point shooting and the championship DNA, because Tommy Lloyd looked like a bum last night. Like, Dusty May carved him up in terms of the coaching battle. And obviously we know he's not going to be able to do that to Dan Hurley, and that UConn is a no quit. It felt at one point like Arizona sort of quit in the second half. UConn's never going to quit. So
yeah, when we got up 30, I was like, oh, well, they threw in the towel.
Now, I did love, last thing on the topic, I did love, and I'm not sure if you guys caught it, the post-game presser. They asked Dusty why he put Yaxel back in, and he was like, did you guys not see the Duke UConn game? He was like, we just did not feel comfortable putting the kids to bed and saying goodnight, a.k.a. we weren't confident the game was completely over yet. I liked that. In basketball, you never want to take your foot off the gas pedal too early. So
right, like my power stance last week. Throat to the fucking end.
So I love that, and they're going to have to play 40 full minutes against UConn tomorrow, because UConn's not going to quit. I don't care if Michigan's up 30. Dan Hurley's not calling off the dogs. He's going to coach like they're up 30 themselves. So
yeah, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Dusty May was seen courtside during the Illinois UConn game.
And scouting in person. I love it.
Yeah, he's like, I wanted to see it with my own eyeballs, not through a screen. I wanted to see them and see how they played, see everything about them from not from the TV, but in person, so that way I could, get actual eyes on the game. I thought that was a great.
What an alpha fucking move, though. Like, you're scouting, getting ready for Monday before you're about to go to a showdown with Arizona. Talk about confidence and swag level off the fucking charts for Dusty, man. Like, he would have been roasted for doing that if Michigan would have lost, but he knew all along. He knew they weren't losing.
That's
He had
a
his
prepared
eyes.
man. He doesn't need to prepare 2 hours before the game. Like they've already done
Yeah,
their homework.
yeah.
They're prepared.
Yeah, but imagine the blowback he would have got. Like, oh, Dusty May worrying about Monday, wasn't ready for it. Like, dude, it was a ballsy move, but that was an alpha move. That was a confident man right there that his boys were going to go out and get the job done, and they just knocked Arizona the fuck out. So, go blue, baby. First time since '89. I expect the boys to get it done tomorrow. But we shall see. It's sports. That's why you play the game. They don't crown champions on paper. You got to go out there and earn it, and it's fitting that it's against the best program in college basketball right now. There would be nothing cheap about this one for Michigan to get it done. All right, shifting in to the local topic of the week for the new listeners out there. This is a Detroit sports-based podcast, so we wanted to add a local topic, a little local flavor into the pod each week. For this week, boys, it's been another slow start for Spencer Torkelson. Eerily similar to the 2024 start that he got off to in that disaster of a season. Last year, he started off smoking hot. Are we concerned? And if not, at what point does it become concerning?
So I think maybe, I don't think it's concerning yet. I mean, it's what, 8, 9, they're playing their 9th game of the season tonight.
Yep.
So I think I'd be more of a concern if it was, at 25 games in and he's still batting, under 150 and, doesn't have 15 RBIs at least. And I think probably about 20, 25, 30 games, I'd be more concerned if he was, still in a really bad slump.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely disappointing. He's a number one overall pick that's yet to improve to the level of a 4-spot hitter that you wanted out of him. He's getting deeper into the lineup. He should be producing RBIs, and he's not. He's not getting on base. He's just not producing at the plate. And with a name like that, you'd think he'd be a little bit better. This guy is just not. It's a disappointment. It's a concern. And when he eventually turns it around, we should be looking to move him for somebody that can help us win this year. I think that he's shown that he's not going to improve to the level of something that you want to see out of a number one overall pick. There's value in that. Somebody else can work on that project. Let's get something tangible that we can play with this year, late in the season. That's worth being in the lineup, not at a detriment. We should be, excited when our 5th, 6th at bat comes up, or batter in the lineup to punch in some runs. And he's not putting the ball in play. He's striking out too high with runners in position. He's not doing the things that you would expect him to do. And at this 3rd, 4th year in, like you got to be performing better. And it's just something that I'm disappointed. I had high hopes. I thought he was going to be like a pillar of our team going forward, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to come to fruition. And let's get off the ship before it sinks and send him packing and get something for him. Now, obviously, trading him when he's low at the start of the year right now is not what I'm saying. There's going to be a time where he goes on a hitting streak here. He performs well.
Which last year he did, and there was rumors they were going to trade him, and then they just fizzled out, and they never did.
Yeah, I think you got to move him. I think there's a level of this is who he is, and I know baseball is a long career. There's a lot of ins and outs and ups and downs in baseball statistics, but you would hope with a number 1 overall pick that you get something better at this point in the career, and I don't foresee it changing overnight. So at some point, you just gotta ship him out and get something for him.
Yeah, so that's an interesting take. Corporal's going full end of the spectrum. He's trying to be proactive instead of reactive. I'm definitely not there yet. Overall, Torkelson had a pretty good 2025. Will he ever live up to the number 1 pick hype? I'm not sure, but if he can be a 30 home run a year guy, even if it's hitting 240, 250, with a little bit more strikeouts than you'd like, I still think that would be solid production regardless of being number 1 pick or not. I am a little bit more concerned than Rick is just because we lived through 2024. He's had this sort of every other year. I believe 2022 was another very slow start. 2023, he had a good year, or a relatively good year, really strong second half. 2024, he was dog shit. 2025, he had a good year. So in terms of his yo-yoing, like, that's the cause for concern. This every other year, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. And this would technically be he's due for a bad year.
Bad year.
Yeah. So in baseball, generally, I'm with Rick. You wait for that 25, 30 game mark before you panic at all. But just because of the track record, I'm a little bit more concerned than I normally would be because he's shown these extended patches and even seasons where he just, for whatever reason, can't hit the baseball. So I'm praying because I do think the Tigers need him. They need his power. They need his run driving ability. He's a much improved defender at first base. He's actually became one of the more veteran guys on this young team. So we'll see. But if I was ranking it right now, the concern meter like 1 to 10, I'm probably like a 4 on the concern meter. So it's early, but I do want to see him get it going here sooner than later, because if this does extend into the 25, 30 game mark, I think there's going to be panic from him and the organization. Like, oh shit, 2024 is happening again. And baseball is a very, very mental game. And I just don't want to see him have to go to that place and that level of panic and pressing, and potentially spiral into something where he's not an everyday starter for this team, because on a team that needs bats, we need him in there and we need him being productive. All right, let's shift it into our second topic in our Degens on Sports. It's the Gambling Gurus.
Gambling Gurus Weekend Bets.
The Gambling Gurus, designed to put some coin into your pocket. All right, boys, this is the last show of the second betting interval. So just a quick standings recap. Corporal leading the way, 1.5 points. He is not going to get the double dip on the punishment. He is going to be safe based off what I know we got coming for you. It's down to Mr. Hardwood and Dun Diesel to see who is going to not get the seller in betting interval number 2. I can tell you this, just based on the odds of the bets, there will not be a tie. So one of us will earn that last place outright all by themselves. But before we get into it, this is our last chance to add to the PPP for this betting interval. So for any new listeners out there, we wanted to make each other personally pay for sucking and giving out bad bets. So we came up with the 6 intervals throughout the calendar year, and we aligned them with marquee events throughout the sporting calendar. Those intervals happen every 2 to 3 months calendar-wise. Interval number 1 ended at the Super Bowl. Next week, We will have a date on the calendar with Corporal in terms of when he is going to be serving out that punishment and getting that full set of acrylic nails. Interval number 2 is aligned with the Final Four and the national championship for college basketball. So the last place loser gets assigned a punishment out of the potential punishment pool from the first place winner of that interval. We didn't want it to be just something crazy. Someone loses, they can pull something out of their ass and something that was not agreed upon by the group. So what we do each week is go with a potential punishment suggestion, and then we all vote on it. If it gets enough votes, the majority rules, it gets added into the potential punishment pool. That PPP is where the interval winner can pick the punishment from for the loser. That is a long story short there and getting you up to speed. All right, Corporal, kick us off with this week's punishment suggestion.
Mine's a little bit simpler, but it's probably pretty shitty. So the good old Friar Tuck haircut. If you're not familiar, you get it on the sides, but not on top. And it is a brutal walk around, I can imagine. I think that it is something where you're going to feel it for the period of time it takes you to grow your hair back. And so I think that is a brutal loser punishment.
So I do think that is absolutely brutal. A few questions. I think you would have to assign some type of interval. I wouldn't want like an in per like until my hair grows back in terms of time length. I think you would have to be like, you got to rock it for a week or whatever that agreed upon length of time is. And then obviously you could shave your head and let it all grow back naturally from there.
Yeah, I think probably a week is probably a good timeline with that, enough to like, you have to, it's got to be at least a few days to you can't hide under a rock for the period of time.
Man, only a week? I was going to suggest longer.
I mean, after 2 weeks, I'm probably grown in a way that it's not the same Friar Tuck look anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think a week would be very sufficient. A week of rocking that haircut. I am selfishly going to vote no on this, not because I don't think it's a great idea. I think it is a great idea, but I do not want to fucking cut my hair off and have to rock that. So for me, it's a no, and I will let young Richard decide it.
Man, oh man. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna vote yes.
Let's go.
Let's put it in there.
That's I mean that's a brutal one, man. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, if I get stuck with that, I'm gonna be pissed. But oh well, is what it is.
It's a shitty one. It definitely is something that is you don't have to do much, but you got to live life, and so it is a constant reminder every time you look at yourself in the mirror.
That's the worst one added into the pool so far in terms of like that would suck. That would fucking suck. I would take the acrylics for a month over that.
I just hope I don't get it, even though I voted for it.
Well, Rick, if anyone's going to get it, it should be you for voting yes. All right. Unfortunately, Friar Tuck haircut added into the potential punishment pool. Rick, what do you got for us?
All right. So mine's carry around a pet rock and talk to it, take it out to eat, out for coffee, etc. Set some kind of limit parameters of having to, introduce it to a certain number of people and get their reactions.
Corp, what do you think?
This is silly. I mean, it's like, hey, this is Rocky. He's my best friend. Yeah, it's silly. It's definitely with the parameters of having to introduce it to people and keep kayfabe alive and actually work that angle because it's going to be hard to
order a dish of food or a coffee
yeah,
or whatever.
like feeding it ice cream, whatever you're doing. Yeah, I think it's silly. I mean, it's one of those ones. I'll say yes and then hope that you guys pick it for me.
Yeah. So my vote would have been no on it. I just think in terms of it's fine. Like it's okay. Like it's definitely, but I don't think it's one that ends up getting assigned because I can tell you what, I'll carry that fucking pet rock around for a year before Friday out here.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so I mean, I think if obviously it's in, Corporal voted yes, but yeah, I mean, I think you would have to carry that. Like, if that one's ever going to get assigned, it would have to be a very lengthy period of time that you're carrying that thing around. But yeah, I don't necessarily see it making its way into the assignment. So that's why I would have been a no. But majority rules, nonetheless. Pet rock into the pool. Mine for this week is you have to get walked at a dog park and you have to bark at the other dogs, owners, eat and drink out of a dog food bowl. I'm not sure if it should be that you have to eat dog food. I mean, I think that would be another layer there. But just like straight dog, straight character, you're on a leash, being walked by the betting interval winner for a certain amount of time. I don't know. We'd have to set a time parameter, an hour, whatever it may be. And you're just full dog, man. You're acting like you're taking pisses out there. You're lifting your legs. You're drinking out of the bowl. You're eating the dog food. You're going up to people and just dead ass, just like barking at them and trying to engage and
Trying to sniff them.
lick other dogs. And just full send.
Yeah, where I'm at is I think if I was the one that was holding the leash, I would be at least half as embarrassed as the person on the ground. And so, like, there's like a self punishment that I would be inflicting upon myself for choosing this and having to take a human to the dog park and be a part of this mockery of what is happening. And so, for me, it's a no. But I think that it is definitely humiliating enough to join the pool. But I think that if I chose it, then I'm going to. I'd rather like Sean chose it for Ricky or vice versa, and I get to enjoy it from the third party. But to choose it for somebody, I don't think I would choose that because I don't want to put a leash around you and be part of this hooligans.
I don't mind dog walking you, Corporal. I do not mind it, dude. As the guy doing the walking,
You're gonna get just as much ridicule as the dog. You know, like you both are gonna
Right.
be pretty much up against it. So
Rick, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I do agree with Court, but I'm gonna have to vote yes.
All right, the dog walk is in there. I don't think, obviously, it's not as bad as a Friar Tuck or some of them on there, but that would be that is an embarrassing one, man. Like if you're out there, like that's a rough one. I don't think that's one you would want to get assigned to you.
no, it's humiliating.
Like it's rough. And the fact this is all under the guise, and I think we're all in on this. All these only work if you're full send into it, right? Like you can't half-ass it. Like you get assigned this to like you're out there barking and crawling around like a dog for an hour, and that's even just crawling around for an hour. It's rough, man. It's rough. We are not.
And like
built
you said,
for that.
eat, crawling around, eating the dog food, drinking out of the water bowl, barking at the other dogs. That's what the part I'm going to be scared of. I've been bit in the head 3 times in my life by a dog. So.
It's definitely not the worst thing on the list, but it is not something that I would like. You know, give me the pet rock.
And like you, right? Yeah, and like you said, Corp, the person, like the winner is taking like probably say like close to 50% of the embarrassment, like you said.
So I think this one, of all the ones in the pool so far, I think this one would get the most look, like from bystanders. Like people in the park are going to be looking out on this like you're fucking nuts.
Yeah. Well,
Like
pet
this is going to
parents
be like
are
they
a
are.
real faction of society that take it so serious. So yeah, you're gonna get like, this is for my dog, not for humans type.
You are going to like someone might call the cops on this. Like this
Oh,
is
absolutely.
yes. Like this is going to be the most gawked upon of everything in the PPP so far. Like, do you guys agree with that sentiment? Like, I think this would be the most obscene to the
Yeah, definitely.
onlookers.
Yeah, there's a couple other ones that rival this, and how they get performed would kind of challenge that. But I think that this one has the obvious, like, you're gonna get that for sure. There's no.
Yeah, 100%. Like, people are going to be mortified. Some people will laugh, but some people are going to be fucking pissed too. And you get crazy dog lady, like you get Tanya, Karen, the dog lady, like she might try to call the cops on you. Like there is a shot. All right, for all the marbles, interval number 2. Let's get down to it. It is the picks of the week.
The Hardwood King.
Big
So
time pressure pick for the king. Let's hear what he's going with.
I'm going with Michigan money line and Michigan UConn alternate over 135.5. You can catch it over on FanDuel at minus 132. And one quick thing, the Kings money train is hotter than ever. 18-3 this weekend. 11-0, undefeated in NBA, 5-1 in MLB, 1-1 in the Final Four for NCAA, and 1-1 in NHL. Stop playing catch-up ball to the King. You can find all these picks should be. Sean said it again and again, and I'll say it again. These picks should be buried behind a paywall, and you can find them all for free. They're not going to be free forever. You can find them on Alphas Talk Pod on X, Twitter, or on Facebook at Alphas Talk Podcast.
Love it.
This is a generational run for the king. Just absolutely on fire. If you're not following us on Twitter at Alphas Talk Pod, you are literally pissing away money. You are leaving money on the ground. It would be like walking past hundreds of dollars and not stopping to pick them fucking up. Get your head out of your ass. Follow the handle on Twitter and hop on the King's money train, because the dude has just been on absolute fucking fire.
The Diesel Diamond.
All right. Diesel did not want this to be a tie, so he is taking a more aggressive swing than the King. He's going for a 1-point bet. I'm taking Michigan money line and Trey McKinney for 10 plus points. That's plus 140 on BetMGM. The logic behind it is pretty simple. I fully expect Michigan to be cutting down the nets tomorrow night. And I think with Yaxel not being 100%, Trey McKinney on offense becomes an even more important factor into the game. Michigan is going to need him in even more extended minutes because Yaxel's not going to play 35 minutes tomorrow night. We're going to need his shooting. We're going to need his scoring. So I think McKinney getting into double digits, especially with Yaxel banged up, is a great bet. He's been shooting the absolute lights out. The dude is a superstar in the making, and I expect Trey McKinney to light it up tomorrow night in the Natty. All right, for the pick that doesn't matter, but for anything in terms of getting money into your pocket, here it is, the Prowler pick.
The Prowler picks.
All right, taking it to the ice in a different angle on the 9th of April, we have the Frozen Four beginning, and Michigan takes on Denver. You can get them at minus 155. Michigan has an elite offense. They got about 5 or 6 scorers in the top 50. They have a great defense. I think this is going to see Michigan playing in another national championship game, so get that money and place it down on Michigan. I feel strong about this. If you feel like you want to follow these guys, Michigan money line national championship, Michigan over Denver, that'll pay out a little bit better of odds, and you can take it to the bank. So Michigan over Denver in the Frozen Four. This line is available on DraftKings and on BetMGM, so it is available. Typically, college hockey is a little bit harder to find. But this is available, and we've all seen it. So that is my pick for this week.
Yeah, how great would it be for a double Michigan natty? Talking about just asserting your dominance in college athletics.
Three natties in 3 years.
Yeah, just 2 in a week would just be absolute absurdity. All right, boys. So we did add a group parlay component. We have been so close to cracking one of these. These do have different stipulations than our bets of the week. The group parlay has to be an against the spread or money line favorite that's minus 200 or less, or a money line dog. It can't be a multi parlay pick. It just has to be one singular pick per person. Our group parlay this week is the Michigan Magic. I'm going with that McKinney 10 plus points, Corporal with the Michigan hockey money line, and then Mr. Hardwood with Michigan minus 6 in the hook tomorrow. You bet all 3 of those together into a parlay. It is a plus 421 payout. Michigan asserts its dominance. The Alphas Talks pod asserts its dominance and gets you that big money payout. I feel really good about all these bets. Get them in, build up that bankroll as we start moving into playoff basketball, playoff hockey, and the good part of regular season baseball after we get through the uncertainty of April. May is a great betting month to really make some serious coin in baseball.
Hail to the victors.
Go blue, baby.
Go blue.
All right, shifting in to our second segment. It's the Alphas in action.
Question of the week.
Question of the week. The group text, lunch table, happy hour, water cooler, burning topic that the Army out there is looking for the alpha perspective on. And guess what? It's your lucky day because we are here to give it to you. Corporal, start us off. What do you got for us? Question of the week.
All right. So, do you guys clean your dishes 100% before loading them into the dishwasher? And if not 100%, what percentage are you guys at?
So, I've heard there's people that don't clean their dishes at all before they put them in the dishwasher, and that's absolutely crazy to me, even though I know some of these like dishwashing detergent companies advertise that you don't need to. I definitely do clean mine before I put them into the dishwasher. It's not an always 100% clean, but it's definitely more than a rinse. Like there is some type of scrub action that goes on. I would say if you had to consistently label a percentage of how well that I clean them before I put them into the dishwasher, I would say it's a solid like 80% clean before I load them in.
Yeah, so I've seen the advertisements too, and I think, like you said, Sean, I think it's absolutely crazy, and it sounds disgusting to just throw your plates in there with fucking hunks of food on there or whatever, especially if you have kids. I would say the same thing, probably 75 to 80%. Get all the food, all the crumbs off there, and just leave maybe 25% of if it's, some ketchup or some sort of other condiment or something. But yeah, definitely got to clean them. I would say 80%
Yeah, this is something that I've definitely changed over the years, dependent on the dishwasher that I have. I've had some really good dishwashers that would do a lot of work, but it's still at least 60-75% minimum. You can't put it in there. And the quantity of how long, or the quantity of time before starting the dishwasher matters. If you're putting dirty dishes as a single guy in there and it takes you a week to fill it up, that's disgusting. With the family the size we have, it doesn't take long to fill up the dishwasher, but I'm like, they're almost 100% clean before I hit the button. It's almost like they're edible, or your ability to use them immediately after I get done washing them before they get sterilized in the dishwasher. But we're not risking trying to get sick. These kids don't have the stomach ability yet that the grown men do in some of their disgusting ways. But yeah, we're 100%. But I've heard, there are certain people from other shows and other things I've heard that they barely rinse it. It goes right in the dishwasher. And that is just like, I'm not risking that life. Like, I don't want food poisoning. I don't want to be sick because I used a plate that wasn't clean. But curious that you guys are kind of on the same page. And that's,
Yeah, for me, it's not even beyond the risk. It's like I just don't buy into the cleaning ability if you don't get it to a certain level. You know what? Like if you put a plate in there that's 10% clean, I just don't think the dishwasher's bringing it the other 90%. I still think
right. And then
you're gonna have dried up shit or something. And then you're like, well, do I rewash this or do I just hand wash this at this point? It's just like it's counterproductive in my opinion. So that's
and then the dishwasher, and then the equipment itself ain't gonna last as long.
That's a great point because you're creating maintenance of the dishwasher now. And how do you clean a dishwasher these days? They're not made for that, and it's just piling up gross food at the bottom of the dishwasher that you're supposed to be using to clean your.
Now, what I will say is I do think a lot of these things have self-cleaning mechanisms on it now, but I just, like I said, I just don't want to run the load and then you go to unload the dishes or whatever, and then 50% of your plates and bowls still have like dried up residue or aren't fully clean. Then that was a waste. So I'd rather take the extra 2 seconds on the front end, get it to an acceptable point, and increase that likelihood that they come out 100% clean. That's just my thought process. Young Richard.
So,
question of the week.
Are you a snooze button guy or a straight wake up with your alarm clock?
I think straight wake up people are psychopaths. I don't know how you just go from asleep and your alarm goes off and you pop right up. I do know they exist. I've talked to them. I've met them. I've considered some of them friends, but I am definitely a snooze guy. I am a multiple snooze guy. I actually bake my snooze time into when I set my alarm. So if I want to be up at 6:30 a.m., so say I want to be up at 6:30, I want to be up, moving, starting my day, I will set that first alarm to go off at 6 a.m. I am a 3 snooze guy. That's really the magic number for me. And then I am ready to start my day. So I am a 100% snooze guy to the point where I actually bake it into what time I set my initial alarm to go off.
Yeah, this is a funny question for me because it's been a while since I've had to set an alarm. My second born is a early riser, and he will wake me up about 6:30 every day. And the days that he does not, I am up late, and it is chaos because it is so consistent. So, but in my past, I am definitely a snoozer to a fault, and really I'll just sleep through the alarm. So I set multiple alarms when I go, expecting that one or two of them will be snoozed, and it'll be a challenge to get up. Now, when I have somewhere to go and I have to be up in a way that like I don't typically have to be up, I'll force myself to pop out of bed and just do it. But I've gotten used to doing that because I have children that need me. And when there's that need, I don't get to just like snooze my son. Like, nope, I'm going back to bed.
So, well, let's tee it up this way, Corporal. You have an 8 a.m. appointment. So you have to be there at 8 a.m. Are you setting, and so that means you have to start your day at 6:30. Are you
Yeah.
setting your alarm for 6:30 for a spring up, or are you banking on
No.
snooze?
So the time that I have to be up by the latest will have a specific alarm, and then I will start an alarm like 15, 20 minutes prior to that, knowing that I'm going to snooze it.
Okay, so you're a snooze guy, just not as
It's
extreme
just,
a snooze
yeah,
guy.
it just doesn't, yeah, it doesn't, I don't have the time to snooze like I used to. Like somebody needs a bottle or something where the need of a human is in need, so I have to move forward with life. But typically, when the kids get older, I will be a snooze person. I've never been able to wake up and be. I mean, it takes me a few cups of coffee to get moving in the morning anyway. So I am not. I'm not good with the morning, so I'm definitely a snoozer as much as possible.
The king.
Yeah, so I'm also a multiple alarm guy, multiple snooze. It's always been the case. I'll set. It's pretty much like around the same time frame as you, Sean. It's 20 minutes to a half hour. I'll have them spaced out like about 8 minutes apart. And one of those crazy straight wake up people is my father. He's always been that way, and I've always called him fucking
Rick
insane
B.
for doing it because his alarm goes off and he boop, choop, straight to the bathroom and freaking on with his day. I don't
Yeah,
I
I
can't
do
do
not.
that.
Well, they say so. They say that's military style. Obviously, like in the military, there's no snooze button. It's
No,
wake up, start your day. But obviously, military style is also intense. Like it's not normal. Like they live their life in a different type of regiment in
right.
routine. So, but yeah, that's what I equate the waking straight up. It's like just military. Like it's time to wake up. Got to wake up. That's like some military jail type shit. Uh, and I'm not in either, so I don't want to live my life that way.
Right.
All right, my question of the week. We just had opening day here in Detroit on Friday. It is a holiday here in Michigan, as it is in a lot of other great baseball and sports cities. The question's this, though: is opening day weather dependent or weather proof?
So I think I'll jump in first. I think it's weatherproof because there's so much stuff from going down there over the years. At least in Detroit, there's so much stuff to do. I mean, if it gets in a rain delay, all the bars are hopping. There's all still people tailgating if there's rain or snow or whatever. We're in Michigan, so I definitely think it's weatherproof.
Okay, okay, I like it.
It, it
Court.
it's dependent because the game is so much better when it is a warmer day with no rain. I mean, it makes a huge difference. Now, is it completely a wash if it's bad weather? No, but it's not the same as it is when it's warm weather. It is so much better when you go down there and everybody's just excited because the sun's finally out and it's a good day and baseball's finally back and you're excited. When it's bad weather, it's gloomy, the atmosphere just isn't as live when everybody's got to be in a bar versus everybody's outside at tailgating and doing their thing outside. It's just different vibes. And when you get to that point where it's like you got kids or you're bringing family with you down there, if it's raining, we're not going. Like I'm not. So it's like to me, it's so much dependent on the weather quality. And when I take my family to the Tigers game, it's based on good weather days and I want to be baking in the sun and enjoying myself, not hiding under an umbrella or finding the place to go hide where it's now packed and you can't even get a drink. And so for me, there is a little bit of dependency on the weather.
Yeah, so couple things. So I would agree with you overall, Corporal, but not on opening day. I'm going with the king on this one. Opening day is weatherproof with the caveat that obviously if it's nice out, it's just that is the ideal situation. Like this year was actually a 10 out of 10. It ended up being mid 60s, sun shining. It was honestly the perfect opening day weather. But opening day is one of those things that rain snow. I remember 2021 being down there when it was snowing. Miggy hits the walk-off home run, but it's one of those you may have to adjust your plans, but you can still enjoy the festivities. So it might not be a tailgate. It may turn into having to get down there earlier and trying to get inside a bar or going to the casino or whatever. You may have to pivot the plans if you're not going to the game in terms of the pregame festivities. But opening day, there's always going to be people down there, whether it's great weather or bad weather. The energy is going to be high. Obviously, the great weather days are going to be the better, more epic opening days. But the bad weather doesn't ruin it, and it never will in the great sports cities like Detroit. I do got one other semi-controversial or overall takes. Opening day is not the day to bring your kids. It's just not the day to bring your kids to the ballpark. Opening day is for adults. There's going to be tons and tons of people down there drinking, cussing, smoking. It's just not a place for a young child. That's the great thing about baseball. It's a 162 game season. You got 80 other chances to bring them down to the ballpark. You don't bring them on opening day and have to deal with everyone being loud and obnoxious and potentially putting your kid into a position that you don't want.
Were you not taken to the ballpark on opening day as a kid? I feel like my dad and me cut out of school and work and went down there a couple different times. And
not on most opening days until I got older, for sure. Like I was into probably high school or later on in middle school. Like when I'm talking kids, by the time your kids are into middle school and high school, like they're gonna get exposed to the world. But I'm talking like you got an elementary age kid, like opening day is not for kids. That's just my take. I've been to enough of them to know, unless you're okay with knowing that your kid's gonna run into the obnoxious, the drunk, the cussing, the smoking. Like it's just like you're gonna get it all on opening day. You're getting
and it was definitely different times back then. I went to a lot of tailgates for like Michigan, and people were just like sloshed, and like I had no idea what was going on, but this guy was like tanked, or that guy's firing up doobies, and you're just kind of a part of the situation. But opening day is something easily to avoid, like you said. There's too many games throughout the year to expose young children to that.
Unless you're okay with like just know it. It's one of those. I got no problem for people that do bring their kids, but don't act like that type of stuff's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be some drunk dude in your section cussing, smoking his vape, stumbling around. Just be like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Don't be shocked and don't bitch about it. Don't be that guy.
Don't bitch. Like, yeah, like it's, me and my buddy Lopez went to one opening day and he got pretty revved up and was talking smack to the Royals left fielder Mark Tehan at the time, and some dude had brought his kid and started chirping him, and I mean it went as you expected. He turned around and told the guy to shut the fuck up, and that was it. What's the guy gonna do? Like you're gonna encounter things that you don't necessarily want to potentially expose the kids to on opening day. Or if you got no problem with that, just don't be shocked when it does happen. And don't be like, oh my God, this is like, what is going on? There's children here. It's like, well, then you maybe should have brought your kid to one of the other 80 games.
Right.
All right. Alpha Army question of the week. It's Easter Sunday, and on topic, the Army wants to know, what is the best Easter side dish?
I'll jump in. I think that we've been doing something a little different lately with kids. So we've been doing more pizza, and so it goes away from having sides and all that. But anytime I can get myself any type of cooked potato, that is where I'm looking for on these Easter meals or these holiday meals. I don't get it enough in my life, and I'm a huge fan of mashed potatoes or scalloped potatoes or cheesy potatoes. Any of them, all of them, please. Anything like that. That's where I gravitate towards. Where I'm going to get seconds and potentially thirds, and then it's going to be the largest space on my plate. So that's what I'm looking for, is any type of potato dish. That's what I.
Okay, definitely cannot go wrong with potatoes. That's for damn sure.
Corporal took one of mine was going to be cheesy potatoes because our group of friends probably knows my mom makes a killer ingredients of cheesy potatoes. Another one would be green bean casserole or the old deviled eggs. Those would be my three.
Yep. So Rick definitely at the end there took, I think, what, like, just in terms of like the Easter theme, right? Like Easter is about eggs, right? So if you're going somewhere and they're hosting Easter, there's a and it's not something atypical, Corporal, like you guys ordering pizza or Chinese or whatever it may be. Like if it is a traditional Easter meal, you expect there to be deviled eggs on Easter. Just unequivocally 1,000,000% you expect there to be deviled eggs. So I love eggs. I like potatoes, cheesy potatoes, and mac and cheese and green bean casserole more than I like deviled eggs. But specifically for Easter, I think it's deviled
The
eggs.
farts
I
that
just
come
think
with deviled eggs are devilish.
on theme, on brand,
Absolutely.
it's deviled eggs. Like if you go to a home cooked prepared Easter dinner and there's no deviled eggs, it just don't happen. You'd be like, "Whoa, what's going on? Like, where's the deviled eggs?" So, deviled eggs is my vote. I don't think you can go wrong with any of the options listed. Does anyone have like an off the board, like weird one that they like secretly really like or look forward to specifically for Easter holidays?
No,
No.
but I used to love going to my grandpa's because he would always do like the honey baked ham for every holiday. And I know it's not a side, but like that is something that I don't get anymore to the level I used to. He was a butcher, so he did it right. He had like all the setup for it. He's sliced perfectly. Like that is something that I miss. That I it's just whoever gets it, you get it from Costco. It's not the same as when you get it fresh from the butcher. And that was his job, so it was always top notch. And that's something that I kind of think about every time I'm at a holiday party. I'm like, oh, it's not the same, but it's
Yeah. That's tough shoes to fill, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every honey baked ham is going to be a letdown for you for the rest of your life after that, though. But yeah, I don't got any weird ones that I like either. I like the traditional ones, man. I don't think. I guess the most unique one is my grandma used to make like a broccoli salad. It was like a cold salad that it was like a ranch dressing base with like cheese and little pieces of broccoli and carrots, and that was pretty dang good, man. So, and I think that's an atypical one. Uh,
yeah, I guess.
but I do like a good cold salad mixed in there, whether it's pasta salad, potato salad, like a broccoli salad, something like that. You got a chicken salad. You got to have a good cold salad mixed into the equation as well.
My mom used to make something with like a cucumber salad type dish that was like real saucy. I have no idea what it is, but haven't had that in years either. That's a outside the box one.
That's a definitely out of off the board
Yeah.
one. So, all right, next segment it is recommendations of the week.
Weekly recommendation.
This is a movie, show, music, drink, food, health, wealth, something tangible, something you can act on, something you can immediately go out, implement your life, and it's gonna make it better. It's gonna be a winning experience. I will kick us off on the recommendation of the week. I was at my parents' today. We went a little bit atypical in terms of the Easter menu. Got some Famous Dave's catered. And I had that famous jalapeno mac and cheese. And I started doing some reflection. And it's elite. It is just elite. Non-debatably elite. And I started putting it into like the chasm of mac and cheese. And it may be my favorite mac and cheese, period. It is that good. It is by far the best thing Famous Dave's has on the menu. Famous Dave's meats are, I like barbecue, right? So it's like there's not bad barbecue. Some's just better than the other, but Famous Dave's is on the lower end of the barbecue scale when we're talking meat quality.
Yeah.
But that Famous Dave's jalapeno mac and cheese is just absolutely elite. I could just shovel that down my throat into excess and oblivion until I could not move anymore. So if you never had it, I know Famous Dave's, I looked it up. They're in 33 states, so it's a huge barbecue chain. Go out and get you some of that jalapeno mac and cheese and thank me later. It is elite.
Famous Dave's sides are elite. They have a lot of good ones. That cornbread muffin top is awesome.
Hell yeah, it is. They got pretty good baked beans too, man. So
yeah, their sides are pretty underrated. I think Famous Dave's is probably underrated as a restaurant spot. We don't go there as much. The wife doesn't like the barbecue, so whenever I get that solo opportunity, that's somewhere I have an eye on. I like that brisket. The sauces are pretty good. That sweet and spicy slaps. But the sides are really, I could just get like a couple sides and just be good with that. I don't need the full meal. Give me like 6 sides.
Right.
So are you a big fan of the jalapeno mac and cheese or what?
Oh yeah. It's definitely good. It's definitely recommended. It's when you get that, like the two choices of sides, it's always going to be one of them. It's just what else am I getting with it?
Yeah. Elite. Go out and get it. Thank me later. Court, what do you got? Recommendation of the week?
Assuming that everybody here has Netflix. If you don't, that would be my first recommendation. But Spartacus is an elite show. It came out before Game of Thrones. It kind of led the way in this sex talk, brutal action. It's got a lot of the action that you would see in like the movie 300 with the blood and gore, the blood splatter, but it's historic based and it's about a gladiator, and so you get to see. It's kind of like Game of Thrones meets Gladiator meets 300, and the first 16 episodes of season 1 is elite. It is awesome. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Kind of goes on a seasons 2 through 4. I won't say they're elite, they're good, but it's different. While they're in the gladiator arena and they're telling the story of Spartacus, it is awesome. If you haven't seen it, I definitely think that it's worth your 16 hours of watching. It's worth it. And this kind of led the path for shows like Game of Thrones and thereafter to be front and center rather than just a background show or just another fantasy show. This is one of those things that hit, and by the end of it, people loved it. Those 16 episodes of season 1 were awesome. I watched it kind of weekly as it came out, and it was captivating. It's in my genre of the action style, but also it's telling a historic story, so there's some like real what happened then type things. Plus it's mixed with some of these, sex and action scenes that we've all come to expect from Game of Thrones and other shows. So highly recommend.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I've never watched Spartacus. I wasn't a early Game of Thrones, live Game of Thrones guy, but once I got hooked, I binged all 7 seasons, and now I watch all the spin-offs and all of that now. So if it's in that lane, then it seems like something I definitely need to check out.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that had those sex talk conversations. There's, banging going on while this is going on, and it's definitely a part of the show, like a regular occurrence once you get into this.
Okay.
So the only thing, so I only got one follow-up question outside of that is, does it fall off after the first season?
So basically what happens is the main actor passed away with cancer. And so season 2 goes in a prequel, and then season 3 and 4 they have a different actor. And so you kind of grow to love this guy and then somebody else. And it's not that it's not as good as far as the story goes, but it's twofold. It's a different actor, and then it's a different part of the story that is Spartacus. And so if you know the story of Spartacus, he's a gladiator. But what happens after that and how that unfolds is season 3 and 4.
Dude, so what happened? What happened there? The actor had to be pretty young then, right?
Yeah, probably in his 30s or something like that.
Jesus. Yeah. So that was clearly unexpected, and they had to pivot.
Yeah,
go a different direction, right?
Yeah, and then like they did like it was so popular that they just did like a small second season with like based around the characters that they had that would have been in a prequel sense, and then it gave them time to figure out what they would do next.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, that clears that up. Young Richard, the king.
So my recommendation of the week, even if it's only 2 or 3 days a week, is swimming. It's the best exercise for your body. You're working out every single muscle, including your lungs. My dad swam like a half mile for like every day for like 30 years. And I always wondered like when I was younger and stuff, like, man, how does he stay? Because he was a little older when I was born. He was almost 40. He was 39. And there'd be times where, he didn't have time for swimming or whatever. He's like, oh man, my body's stiff. I haven't been to swimming in like 3 days. And I was like, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm like, what's swimming going to do for you? And then, but now freaking believe in it 100%. If I miss if I have a hard day at work, I'm too tired, I always try to get in the pool and man, I feel so much better. So like I said, even if it's 2 or 3 days a week, highly recommend it. And, you'll feel better every day that you do it.
You're not wrong, but I do not like going in the pool. Maybe it's because I was spoiled of having my own pool, but it is not. I don't get the enjoyment that everybody else does. And I got kids, and I'm constantly like, I'll stay with the young ones outside the pool. You go in. But I know the benefits. I mean, when you sweat, it just washes away. It helps with your joints. You're not putting extra wear and tear on your body in the negative way from running on a treadmill. There's a lot of positives for sure. And I think that it's a good recommendation as you get older to stay fit and to stay in a healthier state of being. But I do not get the enjoyment from it. But it is definitely something that will help your body stay loose as
I love the pool. Like, I love swimming. I just love the pool in general, but I hate, like, swimming for exercise sucks. But it is a great recommendation because when you do it, you're using every muscle in your body, and dude, and you're breathing, man. You are breathing. A lot of breath control, a lot of, like, it's just an intense cardio exercise. And that's why it's a part of the Ironman. Like, if you look at the baddest dudes on the planet, these ultra Ironman runners, like, swimming is a component of it. And that's why, man, because it is that much of a workout and it is tough. But yeah, it's one of those things I just do not enjoy doing for exercise. But I don't enjoy cardio in general.
That's funny because, like, I'd rather do it for exercise because then I can do it and get out of the pool. But when I'm just like in there for leisure, like, I'm like, I want to get out. I'm like, I don't enjoy it like I did.
Yeah, you definitely do have pool trauma though, for sure. Like, so just for those that don't know, like, Corporal had a badass in-ground pool, like, back in the day before people had, like, they're more prevalent now. Like, he was one of the ones that had one back in the day, but with that, he also had to do a lot of extensive maintenance to keep the pool clean and up and running and operational. And I think that has definitely jaded your pool love. Anytime that I'd be like, oh, I'm considering getting a pool, you'd be like, don't do it.
No,
Don't do it,
I'm
bro.
the anti-pool
Don't.
guy. Don't do it.
Like, don't straight that like you will not ever get a pool, right? I assume no.
Never. We'd have to like somehow buy a home with a pool, and where we currently live, the water bill is the most expensive utility, and we will not be getting a pool here for sure.
What that was a classic mind deflection game right there. He leveraged a different reason why they weren't getting a pool, but that's not the main reason. Corporal just doesn't like
That was
pools.
gold. All
but,
right.
but
Well, the water bill will be high, so no.
Yeah, he made the financial argument as a way to pivot away from him just being like, I hate pools. Absolutely not. But we saw what you did there, Corporal. It was a good Jedi attempt. The bad news for you is we are both Jedis as well, but the good news is Brianna may not be. So keep Jedi and my son. All right. Shifted in to the last part of the Alphas in Action. You know what time it is.
Power stance.
All right. You know the rules for power stance. Let's hear it, and then let's hear it. Young Richard, go ahead and kick us off.
Power stance.
Oh, it just will never get old. I'm telling you.
So my power stance of the week is communication is key to success, whether it's work, relationships, sports, whatever it is. Just communicate. Don't be surprised when when you fail over and over at different things in life. If you're not communicating, you're not going to succeed at anything.
Yeah, preach, man. Definitely the power of communication. Communication is one of the most important things in life. The caveat that I'll throw on there is don't just communicate when it's good. Those bad conversations or bad news or whatever it may be are equally as important in the communication spectrum. So whatever it is, communication, good or bad, it's always just
absolutely. And when you're not communicating, you're guessing the other person's thoughts, whether it's your boss, your coworker, your wife, whatever it is. So communicating can help open the doors to better things when you share those things, and then you build off of it. So communication is key, whether it's being a good teammate so you don't run into each other in the outfield, or trying to raise your kids. Communicate.
1,000,000%. All right, Court. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right. Power stance.
You get some razzing.
The cough at the end. Yes.
Oh, you know you dug deep when you got the cough at the end. So
couldn't get to that mute button quick enough.
You love to hear that, baby. You love to hear it.
All right. So every 5 to 10 years, we have a global event, starting back at like the Cold War all the way through COVID. So plan your goals in a 5 to 10 year plan. Plan ahead, get ahead. That way we can take advantage of that next disadvantage for everyone else.
So when's your projection? So COVID was the last one. So you're saying by 2030, basically.
Yeah, if you made me put a cap on it, I'd say 2035. It's not always a rough, a hard 10 year, but whether it's going to be the AI, whatever, or some kind of financial falling, or, sometimes it has to do with, war or other countries like the Chinese, I think it was in 88 or something like that. They had a big problem.
China.
Yeah, it threw off, economics across the globe. So something's going to happen. If you were prepared in 2008, you'd be feeling real good today, and you could have been buying up property. And then when it turned back around a few years later, you have all these homes either to sell or rent out. There's lots of different ways that things are going to change. It could be something simple in the car industry. It could be how things are produced. It could be a change in health structure. Something's going to change. It's going to have to take a step back to take a step forward. And if you're ready for it, you can take advantage of it and put yourself in a position that you didn't think was available at that time.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Or just being
Absolutely.
early on something, right? Like even just being early into the AI or whatever the next thing is. It don't always have to be reactive. I think those seeing it before it happens proactively is another angle to take a look at it from the lens. But I love it. 100% right there. All right. Power Stance. I don't know if you guys have saw the commercials. It's the Geico commercials right now. But my power stance is this. If you are worried, like if you are actively worried or bitching about gas prices, there is a strong chance you might be becoming your parents. There's just no doubt about it. You can't fucking control it, and you need it either fucking way. So bitching about it or talking about how much it's went up or where it's cheap at, that is definitely something your parents would do. So regardless of your age, and hitting on the Geico commercial theme, if you find yourself doing that, take a long, hard look in the mirror because you are becoming your parents.
I mean, that used to be such a big topic for that age group of like, the gas is rising, it's cheap here, you should go to this gas station. Like, but like if I drive halfway across town, am I burning more gas? Like, shouldn't I just go to the place that's, 3 cents cheaper or 3 cents more expensive and not waste more gas? And then what's the cost analysis on like the wear and tear on the car for driving across? Like, why does it matter? Like, I'm going to get gas on the route to where I'm going when I need gas.
There, you know, young Richard heard this, read this, and said, "Damn it, I'm becoming Rick B." Because young Richard loves his gas prices.
No, I don't go and stop once in a while maybe. If I see like if it's cheaper and I don't really need gas, I'm like, oh, I'll just stop and get gas. But I'm not driving around like my dad still does that. He's 80 years old, about to be 81. Hey, I'll tell him about. I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, Palmer, and only because it's right where the assisted living place where my mom's at. It's right down the street from there, and I'm like, yeah, the gas station at Palmer and Merriman. Really? It's this much cheaper? I'm like, yeah, it's 22 cents cheaper on down the street. Oh man, I have to start going there.
Rick,
Like you're
you
gonna have to
might be
drive 3
becoming
miles. You're gonna have
you
to
might
drive
be
3 miles to get there.
you might be becoming your parents.
Just helping them out.
That wraps us up for Easter Sunday. Thank you for joining in. As always, I am your host, Dun Diesel, reminding you, don't be a beta bitch. Alpha's out. Woo!
Woo!
Go Blue!
Go Blue,
Go
baby!
Blue, baby!